Double check.
I can see
I
it
wanna
in
make
your
sure
eyes. I think that Punisher picture looks sick. Anyway, I think we're good. Sound-wise, all across the board.
Yeah, fucker.
Why all of a sudden is it so much better? Is Kate's computer off altogether?
No.
Just leave it the way it is. We're good. Get the bumpers going. Oh, this is why. That's the feedback one. I gotta replace that cord. I think is really what it comes down to. I can see it in your eyes again. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, bing, bing. Alright, am I forgetting anything?
You're forgetting that you're a bitch.
Well,
Wow, I'm a little aggressive tonight.
be aggressive. Be aggressive. Oh, I have this in the wrong spot. Damn it. I'm gonna... Oh, damn. So now when I switch over and look at my chat, I'm gonna... Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Let's do it this way. Now when I switch over and look at my chat, I'm gonna... Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Let's do it this way. Now when I switch over and look at my chat... Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Let's do it this way. Now when I switch over and look at my chat... Almost there again. Almost there again. Pretty amped about the Punisher. Have I said that? Almost there again. Alright. Amped about. What's up, Skeen? Have I said that? What up? Hey, Steve. Zen, what's up, guys? What's up, Skeen? What up? Why are you recording at the normal time? Hey, Steve. I didn't think you did that anymore. What's up, guys? Oh, I have a little bit of a story with that. Can you guys hear us okay? Tell me you can. If you can, then we'll move on. Oh, I have a little bit of a story with that. Can you guys hear us okay? Tell me you can. If you can, then we'll move on. Oh, I have a little bit of a story with that. Can you guys hear us okay? Tell me you can. If you can, then we'll move on. Oh, I have a little bit of a story with that.
We're echoing. Do you have your...
Oh, yeah, one sec. Oh, I have a little bit of a story with that. Been a while. Double talk. Is that better? Triple talk? Well.
I'm trying to type "Hi Shanna" into my thing, and it's not typing into the chat.
Hey, Zen. Yeah, we haven't been recording at the normal time, and that has been an issue. We're trying to get back to it. I apologize. Are we still double time or triple time? Or are we good? Or triple talk, I should say.
No, all mine are good.
Yours are good? Okay. Oh, maybe your... Oh, that's fine. Hold on.
I've got everything muted.
Okay, well. Oh, we're good? Cool. All right. Oh, well. I just got rid of Will. Come on back, buddy.
Seriously, I'm trying to type something into chat, and it's not working.
Oh. I'll tell you about that. I guess I got to recapture your dumb face because I screwed something up.
God, I hate you so much.
1 second. Hold, please. Sorry, yeah, well, this is our somewhat normal time. We're a little late tonight, but we got to go to dinner tonight, which
Yeah, we had a good dinner
which
tonight.
is good. So that's why we're late.
Can you guys hear me? Because I feel like
I can hear you a little bit.
I'm not echoing.
You don't hear yourself?
Yeah, I feel muffled.
You feel muffled or you sound muffled?
I feel muffled because I don't hear myself. Oh, I guess it's just me then.
Why can't you hear yourself?
I don't know. I mean, I can, but I can't. It's weird.
Well, for once I don't have feedback in the line, so maybe we finally got the settings right.
Could be.
But you should be able to hear yourself still.
No, I mean, I do. It's weird. Almost sounds like I'm underwater.
You gonna be all right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
All right. Yeah, we're back. Regular time. Regular shenanigans. Until next week when we have to record on Wednesday again. I was really trying to avoid that, but I'll talk about it when we get going. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. You guys rock.
I say you roll.
Always got to be contrary.
Well, yeah, because I hate you.
Quadruple talk? Dude, if we can do quadruple talk with 2 people, that means we are better. Be better. That's what I always say.
No.
No, I can't hear you very well. Are you talking? Is the mic on?
Yes.
Okay, well, don't be a jerk about it. I'm just trying to make sure we're all good. All right. So sound-wise, we're okay?
How's that?
Sound the same?
God, you're weird.
Oh, Wednesday's better. You're right. I forgot New York Comic Con's next week. That's insane.
I want to be in New York Comic Con.
We all do. If we get to the end of the show, Zen, you're still here, remind us. I was going to mention that, but you got tickets and everything, huh? You ready to rock?
Or roll?
I'm not letting that be the name of the show. I'm just not. I refuse. All right, anyway.
All right.
Excuse me. All right, let's get rolling.
Or rocking. So Marshall's looking for a new best friend.
I'm looking for less tedium in my life. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, dog. All right, let's get rolling.
Fuck you, dude. I knew you were going to do that. Zen, that's awesome, dude. Have an awesome time. Let us know what happens at the cantina and stuff. I'm sure you're planning to go to that. I'm going to talk about that, too, at some point in the beginning. I haven't been to a cantina in too long. For some reason, they're avoiding me.
Last cantina I was at, I saw Jeff and Dee Dee's baby.
Oh, right. Yes, drink beer all day Saturdays, Ed. That's what I would do, too. All right. Let's get this going. Can you turn that up for me? Thanks, buddy. You going to talk through it this time as I go, or last time I had to splice in a hole? Don't give me the look. Just turn the thing up.
It is up.
Oh, I thought you turned it down. All right. Hold, please. I know.
Marshall keeps forgetting to turn up his system volume.
Yeah, but I don't want to mess it up for everybody else, so I'm going to turn it up just a titch. If we become too loud, tell us, okay? Can you hear me now? All right, here we go. One more time.
Blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
Hello and welcome to episode 112 of The Usual Podcast, a podcast where we discuss Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall, and with me, fresh off of a nice evening meal, is my co-host, Will. Say what's up, buddy.
Yeah, we had a nice date. I might get lucky tonight.
Wow. So we dated tonight for the first time. Usually we go out to dinner before the shows, and we just didn't.
Months.
We just haven't. If you talk to the Bad Feeling guys, they have tacos and stuff before their shows. We usually have some sort of, greasy meal of some sort, like fish and chips, French fries.
Our regular place is shut down, though.
Well, we can't all have things.
No.
Anyway, and speaking of, we're sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What you drinking?
I tried a brand new beer tonight. I had
I was so proud of you.
A Belgian wheat called Prankster.
Yeah, and it's from North Coast Brewing Company, right down the street from us, literally less than a mile. I like that brewing company a lot. What did I have there? I had their new IPA from them, which is pretty good. And right now, though, because I am continuing to drink, unlike some people, I am drinking a Hop Stupid Ale, which I've had many times on this show, but it was on sale, so I bought it.
Awesome.
You don't seem as excited as I think you should be.
Awesome.
Well, that's disingenuous. Anyway, before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at Darth Pops on Twitter. Will is at I am Will Griggs. We're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play. Take the time, give us positive ratings, like us and share us and all that. You're mocking me, but I've got this down pretty well, and I think the consistency is important. I think people should understand that I'm going to say the same thing, and they'll remember the things. So when it's time to do the things, they'll do the things.
Okay, well, there's a thing about consistency and the fact that you still mention Google Play and the fact that you logged in for the first time onto Google Play for like 8 months the other day.
Yeah, Google Play's a mess.
That was funny.
Anyway, so I don't know what's happening with Google Play. If you're not finding us on there, I think somebody actually said they're not. So I'll stop saying it and or fix it. One of the two.
Word.
Anyway, so we do have the timestamps in the show notes for non-SWTOR fans if you want to skip around, if you're listening to this after the fact. If you're live in chat, thank you for being there. Zen and Steve and Skeen and all the usual suspects are there. See what I did there?
Yeah.
And so that's pretty awesome. So thanks for joining us. Have a beer with us,
Yes,
boys.
thanks for joining us.
Yeah. And real quick before we get to SWTOR, let's just do a little disclaimer why we've been so inconsistent the last month. My schedule's been just borked.
Borked, it's a good way to put it.
I have been picking up shifts.
Or as Trump would say, you've been schlonged.
So you got political?
Well,
Slightly.
it's just a way for me to say schlong.
Yeah. Well, here we are, schlonged. So no, my schedule's been kind of crazy.
It has been.
I have been picking up shifts on Tuesdays and Thursdays this month at night. So we've been switching to Wednesdays, but that didn't always work. So we kind of.
We threw in a Sunday there once.
Yeah, and so I feel bad for the people that enjoy the consistency that we usually sometimes kind of want to have. So we're
Usually, sometimes, kind of.
yeah, we're trying. We're hoping to get back on track, although next week we'll be on a Wednesday again. Sorry. So there'll be 2 Wednesdays next month, but the rest should be pretty consistent. So definitely don't give up on us. We are doing our darndest. And to be honest, news has been kind of slow, so it actually has worked out okay.
Yeah, this is usually a slow time period for pop culture. This week was a big week because TV shows started premiering, so we're going to start getting some big news.
Well, I have something to say about a TV show I've been enjoying, sir.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's not till later because we have SWTOR first.
All right.
See how I brought you up? That took you back down?
Yeah, how about you go F yourself?
Okay. SWTOR time.
You want to fight? I'm ready. You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you, if you will only kneel.
So to be fair, we've only really been off maybe off about a week or so.
Right.
It's like our first time doing this.
I know, it's weird.
It feels like it.
Well, you totally jumped the gun there.
I didn't jump the gun because I was segueing.
Jumped the gun.
Anyway, let's as we always do with SWTOR. There's not a ton of news. Most of the news this week has to do with class changes, and we don't usually cover that on this show. So I wanted to highlight some of the community folks a little bit. Not on your screen. So the count. What is this? We got a.
I just got a text from somebody asking about trailer time.
Oh, yeah, we do still do trailer time. And today, and I should have said this at the top of the show. I apologize. We've been doing trailer time, but the problem with trailer time, and it is a Patreon, patron exclusive. The issue with trailer time has been there hasn't been a whole lot of trailers. And so when there's like 2 trailers, I don't like starting the feed and then ending the feed. So we haven't been doing it the last few weeks.
Yeah, we're starting to get into award season, which is great because I love those movies, but they're not the most
awesome.
The most
compelling,
thrilling.
Well, compelling's better, but
compelling is great. Well, no, because they can be compelling. They're not the most enjoyable to have on this medium.
Yeah. So I mean, as exciting as it is to watch a trailer about
a period piece.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're like the ones with explosions and stuff.
Yeah, we actually did have 3 lined up, but we're going to be putting them throughout the show.
Yeah, so when we do it, thank you for tuning in live. Those of you that are, we'll put them up We'll put them up in the feed above our Punisher face over there. We're going to be talking about Punisher later, so I like that image.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, back to SWTOR, sort of. But yeah, so Trailer Time will be coming back. We'll be sprinkling them in this episode, but hopefully next week we'll do a dedicated Trailer Time when I feel like we're back on track, you know?
Word.
Anyway, all right, man. So community stuff. The council, I've caught up on them finally.
I can honestly say I haven't listened to him yet.
And that's okay.
I really need to.
It's okay. It's actually a really cool kind of format. 4 of our fellow guildies and just awesome people. Like I said, Elise, Redna, Magic Ace, and Sakari. All of them, it's like a talk show format. They do a little poll in the beginning. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good listen. So I'll have a link in the show notes to them. I really do enjoy that show quite a bit. Bad Feeling Podcast, I think they just published today or are recording soon, or I don't know. I'm a little behind. They're doing a Bad Feeling Bouvet. They had to kind of put it off. And what they're doing is having a couple beers with some devs and doing kind of a Q&A kind of thing.
Cool.
What was weird, and the main reason I wanted to put this in here is something, every once in a while, I don't know, if you listen to a lot of podcasts, sometimes the feeds get kind of weird and wonky, right? Yeah, it is like The View for Star Wars. That's good, Zen. Yeah, that's a good way to put the council. But Bad Feeling, I know something got really weird with my feed in my podcatcher, so it never updated. So I was like, oh, they must be taking some time off. And then I saw a tweet, and they're like, oh, we're doing this. I was like, what the hell? So then I went to refresh that feed specifically, and it errored. And so I subscribed, and then I realized I was 7 episodes down. So I binge listened to our boys at Bad Feeling.
So double
Chuck
time
and Brian.
would take you about 4 hours?
Yeah, I mean, at best. Their shows are half hour. It was like 2 hours I was done. But I got through that pretty quick. So what they're doing is a sort of Q&A, kind of casual, have some beers with the devs and hang out. And I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. I think it's coming out. If it's not out already, it's going to come out pretty quick. So
very cool.
Who's Whoopi? Sakari. Yeah, Sakari's got the hair for it, I think, Sam.
Yeah, I would definitely say
he's got
to be Joy Behar.
Well, she's not on the council though.
Well, neither is Joy Behar anymore.
Look, do you really think that I watch The View?
I don't watch it either. I'm just guessing.
That deteriorated quickly. Thanks, Zen.
Wow.
All right. So, speaking of Zen, since he is in the chat, he is going to the SWTOR Cantina, official cantina at New York Comic Con, and we're all jealous. Elise is going as well.
Oh, wow.
And there's some other folks that are making the trip. So I can't wait to hear back and what happens from the cantina and stuff like that. I haven't been to a cantina in forever. I've been to a lot of them. Pretty much any single one that was anywhere near me I've been to, but they haven't been near us in quite a while.
It's
been, 2 years since San Diego. And the last one I went to close to us was that one for Galactic Starfighter in San Francisco, which was forever ago. So since you're listening, Eric Musco, come back to Cali.
Coming back to Cali.
Cali. Remember that? Anyway, what have you been doing in game this week, my friend?
Just like my normal weeks, I've been doing some Planetary Heroics. I'm waiting for them to put in the Tipsy Crow initiative.
Yeah, why haven't they done that yet?
I don't know. We've given them a week.
It's almost like they don't listen to the show.
I know, right? But actually, I've gotten another glitch in my Manon Stronghold. It's not just replaying the intro video. When I log into my Stronghold, because I always go to my Stronghold before I log out. Right, so whenever I come back on, I'm in my Stronghold.
Sure.
Right? I was pinned up against a wall, and there was like an invisible barrier that I was stuck behind, and I could only go down the wall and back, and I couldn't get out from behind it. I couldn't jump over it. Nothing. I had to either...
Did you do a /stock or something?
I did, and it wouldn't release it. Nothing. I had to quick travel to the fleet and back but then I had to watch the cinematic again.
You love the cinematic.
No, it's good. But
you love that cinematic so much that you don't even want them to fix the bug.
I don't.
Anyway, anything else?
No, but that's just like a weird glitch.
Yeah, that is a weird glitch.
It wasn't even after a patch. It just did it.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm like I said, my schedule's been crazy. I have not logged in much, But I missed WOG last week due to a birthday party.
Yeah, we had one of our buddies who's in our D&D group come back to town for the night, and we had our first D&D night in like 3 months.
Yeah, and he could only do Friday, so I was like, you know what, let's do it.
Yeah,
and
I mean, come on.
We had a great D&D session, and that was awesome. The week before that, after we recorded last, I did WOG. Before that was not enough people showed up and signed up, and so we ended up PvPing. On the Twitch stream, you got to check it out. It's me being terrible at PvP.
Well, you're terrible at PvP.
Anyway, I was tanking in PvP, high level PvP.
No
It was a lot of fun.
PvP-ness.
How do I want to say it? I wielded my PvP-ness quite as much as I could, and it was a lot. It was actually a lot of fun. It was fun PvPing with the guildies, and people watching the stream that are also in our Discord helping us like organize and like say, make sure you do this and do this. It was actually a lot of fun. So
cool. I'm glad you had fun.
I hadn't PvP'd in a while, especially high level. So that was cool. So as far as news goes, essentially it's all class changes.
All class change.
Vengeance, Juggernaut, Vigilance, Guardian.
I think you mean Vigilance.
What did I say?
Vigilance.
I'm gonna stay with what I said. We have Marksman, Sniper, Sharpshooter, Gunslinger, Rage, Juggernaut, Focus, Guardian. It looks like everybody's getting touched here. But
touche.
What was interesting though is somebody actually said, as a response to one of them, said, any update for when you'll start tackling utilities? Because a lot of these are slated for 5.5, which as of right now I think is October 10th.
Yeah.
And Eric Musco wrote back, he said, good question. Game Update 5.5 will mark the end of the primary balance changes to DPS and HPS as we outlined in the original post around balance targets. I will be posting the remaining 5.5 changes over the next few days, which we've already been seeing. And Game Update 5.6 will be where we begin adjusting utilities. This is also where we begin making any additional tweaks to balance as needed for classes that are over / underperforming. Hope that answers your question.
It sure does.
Well, it wasn't your question, but what I find interesting though is that they really are taking. It's taking them a bit, but they're going in and working on this stuff, and I hear everything under the sun. My class is getting nerfed. This is happening.
They're doing all the nuts and bolts maintenance right now.
Yeah.
Of the tunes. So yeah.
Well, and again, we'll kind of see how this all shakes out in 5.5. Speaking of 5.5, a nice segue. The roadmap is well overdue.
Yes, it is.
And they're aware of it, and there's been a post or two talking about they're still working on it. The issue is it's now, when are we recording this? September 28th. And if they're talking about, I think they really need to get this out in the next couple days. As part of the influencer group, there's some stuff hopefully coming pretty soon. But like I said, as far as the roadmap goes, it'd be nice to get a clear picture. The thing I'm most excited about, actually, as far as the roadmap goes, is this: when are they going to pin down when they're going to make the currencies legacy bound? Because that's something that
they totally dropped that on us last month, and
well, they were talking about it, but they never said when it was coming. They said this is something they're seriously looking at, but if I don't get that soon, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
Oh, you'll make it.
Yeah, I will, and I'll keep playing. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, you will.
It's gonna be fun. Anyway, so anything else roadmap wise, or anything else you want to talk about before we get out of SWTOR, dude?
No, I'm good.
We don't have much, man. Honestly, pay attention to your friendly neighborhood influencers. Support their streams. Actually, speaking of which, there was an Extra Life stream recently. A bunch of guys did a run. There was a leveling event and all this some other stuff I've been kind of out of the loop for. So definitely follow JT and Mox and Passionate Casual and all these other influencers, Bad Feeling and Curlian Run and everybody else. And who am I missing? SWTOR Escape podcast and all these other guys, Max and Seema and stuff. So follow everybody, all your streamers, Kid Lee and Sakari and everybody else, and support us and just hang out. And hopefully we'll have more info when it comes time, right?
Yeah, the extra life events are always so much fun.
Yeah, I
They're
can't-
always for such a great cause.
I cannot wait. I've already put in my phone. I'm ready for my 12-hour stream on what is
Nice.
November 4th or whatever. November 4th, is it? Something like that. Anyway, it's in my phone. I
yeah, it
promise.
is.
Anyway, man, should we see if we can scrape some Star Wars news together?
Yeah, we've got a couple little tidbits.
Maybe
nothing
I'll play
big,
the
but-
bumper. He threw something at me for the record. Here we go.
I hate him.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
Honestly, it's easier in the editing room if I play the bumper. So what were you saying? Do we have some tidbits?
Yeah, we've just got a couple of tidbits. Why don't we, you put the first couple in here?
Yeah, there's a couple things in here that have to do with J.J. Abrams. And we talked about this last time. And obviously, Trevorrow being fired, J.J. Abrams stepping in. Eventually, somebody was going to say something about a thing.
Of course.
And this actually was Domhnall Gleeson, who played Hux, right? General Hux.
Yeah, he was also in the Harry Potter movies. He's in the upcoming American Made with Tom Cruise.
Oh, interesting. So I mean, it's not a non-story, but it's definitely interesting to hear somebody who was on the sets kind of tell what was going on.
Right, absolutely.
So he says, excuse me. I can't speak from any perspective except for the fact as somebody who likes movies because it's not been disclosed to anybody because obviously nobody knows what's going to happen with The Last Jedi, whether I'll be involved in that film or not. So I don't think of it as somebody who's necessarily involved or not involved. That's just its own thing. That sounds very convoluted, doesn't it?
Very convoluted.
Anyway, let's move on past that. What he says is, he says I can neither confirm nor deny, which is kind of what he was saying as far as, but he did. Oh, sorry. He did speak about Trevorrow and Abrams' involvement with the project. He said, but I think it's very bad for Colin. But if it was, but if it's the right thing to do, is to part company, the most right thing to do is the same as any relationship. That happens. He talks kind of crazy, I think.
Well, he's British.
Yeah. Anyway, so then he says, and then. You just threw every British person we have under the bus. Great. Gleeson was positive about Abrams' return. He said, and then with JJ, he's a great director. I think that he did a brilliant job on the first one, and it makes absolute sense why after they parted company with Colin, that he was in that was the place they looked. And I think it's very exciting for the fans of the film that he's back. So, he's trying not to say anything bad, but at the same time, obviously, there's some bad blood kind of thing going on there. Right.
I think the first convoluted thing was him basically saying he can't say anything for sure because he can't confirm whether he's in 9 or not because he can't say what's going on in 8 on whether he'll survive it.
Right. And which I like. As convoluted as it was, he's like, well, I may or may not be in episode 9, but I can't say it because they will kill me and probably write me out of episode 9 if I say that I survive episode 8, right?
Yes.
I don't know. I think it's really interesting, man. I like Hux's character, kind of.
So do I. He's very. Gosh, who would I compare him to?
Hitler?
What?
Hitler?
No.
Just kidding.
I actually kind of. He's not quite Tarkin. He's more like Nita.
Oh, yeah.
Not Nita. The one who ended up surviving that we found out later.
Skeen says he's a weasel.
He is. It's the one that we thought died in the Death Star explosion, but then it turns out he survived and he was in the Vader comic.
I actually really like his character because
Perret.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. You think of the name real quick while I say what I'm going to say. So, what I like about Hux's character though is that he does what he needs to do. You know what I'm saying? There's that moment where he's looking at, and I never asked you about this. What do you think about that weird moment where he kind of looks at Ren without his mask on. There's that awkward moment where they're both talking to Snoke, and like he kind of looks over. He's like, "You don't have your helmet on."
Yeah,
Huh.
it's kind of like that.
Petty, Piety?
No, it's
Petty
not,
or Piety?
No, it's
Oh, Piet, Admiral Piet.
yeah,
Yeah, Zen got your back. Admiral Piet.
yeah. It's two T's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, that's who he reminds me of.
yeah,
But it's it was almost like it's kind of hard for him to like be intimidated by him,
right.
without that visage. And
Right.
so he's like,
He's
dude,
like, dude, you're just a kid.
you're like giving up your strength.
All right, so apparently there's some other.
Oh, cool. Skeen says that we get some more background on Piet in the Phasma book.
Oh, that's cool. Piet or probably not Piet.
Oh,
Hux.
Hux.
Yeah, let's not get crazy. If Piet comes back, I'm excited. All right, guys. So there's another story in here about Paramount not being very happy about J.J. Abrams' quote-unquote Star Wars gig. Okay.
Well, you can kind of understand because, you know, when he was done with Star Trek,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, he didn't do the most recent Star Trek. He produced it.
Right.
But he said he was going back to his, I mean, he said that he was going to be working on a new Cloverfield. He was
Right.
all stuff. And if that's in Paramount's wheelhouse, then yeah, they're losing income there.
When he says, I guess former Paramount chief Brad Gray first signed Abrams to deal with the studio after Mission Impossible 3 in 2006.
Right,
Which,
because he's a producer on all the Mission Impossible.
right, which was a $10 million per year for overhead and development of projects. Abrams was finished with The Force Awakens. Gray negotiated the deal with the intention to make his next project for Paramount. I can see where this is going. But Abrams instead opted to return to the Star Wars universe, now angering current Paramount CEO Jim Giannopoulos. But what could he risk? What does it say? Yeah, they're not going to sue him. So not likely, considering James' contract will be up in 2018. Doing so will likely sever ties and ensue the director never works for the studio in the future. So he might be done at Paramount, is what this is implying, right?
That's a big thing considering Mission Impossible because,
Well, it is, because aren't they still doing Mission Impossible movies?
well, yeah, they are, and they're actually filming one right now. But
Right.
the thing is the last two people, because he only directed the third one, but the person who did the fourth one was Brad Bird, and the person who did the fifth and sixth one is Christopher McQuarrie, and they both are like people that learned under Abrams.
Interesting. All right.
Granted, Brad Bird had his own thing because he did The Incredibles, he did Tomorrowland, he had his own pedigree, but he learned at the hand of Abrams.
Yeah, for sure. You want to get to books, or are you looking something up?
Yeah, the books, if we know that the Leia book came out at the beginning of the month, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm very excited because there's an article.
And this is the novel by Claudia Gray.
Yeah,
we saw her talking about it in San Diego.
The Princess of Alderaan, and it's kind of like her origin story, right? And it basically kind of bridges her from being a princess to becoming a rebel leader.
Indeed.
And so what's really cool is this article talks about how her you get to learn about her first meetings with Mon Mothma, Tarkin, because you know that they have a history when she comes on the Death Star.
Yeah.
And what I'm most interested in is she meets Panaka, who is the head of the Queen's Guard for Amidala.
Right. Well, we all know Panaka.
Yeah, Panaka was a great guy. He's
He
the
was.
guy, he had the patch, everything, he's cool, right?
Right.
Now, spoilers, so if you haven't read the Leia book or if you don't want to be spoiled,
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Tune out for a second.
Yeah, for about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Panaka switches sides, and he's a loyal Moff to Tarkin. What is that about?
Which I love everything about that. I just think, and we were talking about this over dinner. I think the reason that this thing happens that we probably didn't give them enough time for is after seeing what happens with Amidala and after seeing what happens with Anakin. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Especially as like a policeman, he might want order.
Exactly, and I think that's really interesting. So I'm intrigued, and I definitely want to check out Prince of Alderaan for sure.
Well,
and,
plus Gray's a great author, so
yeah, she is. And like I said, we saw her on a panel. Jesse's a big fan. She got her autograph
Yes.
on her novel.
she was all excited.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool. So again, if you want to listen to that book, audibletrial.com/usual podcast, you can get that for free on us. No shameless plug there. So speaking of books, there is a really cool book called A Certain Point of View.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of like short stories from different people that are influenced by the Star Wars universe.
Exactly. It's 40 stories told from the perspective of background characters from A New Hope. So it's gonna be cool. I just want to read it. But the neat part is that I want to talk about is John Hamm, because this is the audiobook. The audiobook version, John Hamm is voicing Boba Fett.
Very cool.
Which is pretty cool. I had to throw that in there. So that is out now as far as I know. And it's definitely something I'm about to pick up on audiobook. Again, audibletrial.com/userpodcast. Did I say it twice in one spot?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
This was not an ad. This was more excitement over audiobooks.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Word. All right, so what's going on with the Han Solo movie?
So many things, dude. Paul Bettany, who was recently announced that he was joining the cast, is already done filming. He was there like a week or two at the most. So it's hard to say. Nobody knows exactly what he was doing or what his role is, but he wasn't there very long.
Well, and the thing is you don't necessarily have to be.
No, I'm not saying you do. I'm just...
Well, I mean, you got to remember, Marlon Brando recorded his entire Star Wars Superman stuff in one day.
Yeah. This is an interesting picture, though. Ron Howard put up a photo on social media and thanking him for being there, and that's kind of a cool photo. That outfit's kind of neat. It's very Han Solo-ish with the low V neck kind of thing. Anyway, we'll have a link in the show notes to that for sure.
All right, well, let's talk about the other thing that Howard might have teased.
Okay, this is probably my favorite Star Wars story of the week.
And I actually have a little something to say about this.
And almost because this is something that you and I talked about when we heard the Han Solo movie was coming. We're like, well, if they don't do the Kessel Run, they might as well not even do it.
Exactly.
So Ron Howard sort of maybe possibly teased that the Kessel Run is part of the Han Solo movie. So basically there's a picture he put up. His most recent tweet, however, teases the film could include the smuggler's famous 12-parsec Kessel Run. And there's a picture here that looks like a mine. He wrote, "Spicy?" ?
Because, of course, the spice mines of Kessel.
Right. So what do you think?
Two things. We've kind of had this trap before when Phantom Menace was coming out, and we're like, okay, well, if we don't see Beggar's Canyon, which we did because it was during the pod race.
Right. Are they trolling us? Is he trolling?
No, I don't think so. But this brings up the old argument of isn't the Kessel Run, isn't a parsec a unit of a unit of distance,
not
time.
Right.
And I'm going to I don't think I've actually voiced my argument on this side of it on the podcast. So I'm going to just say it right here. I am in the argument of actually Lucas on this side.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I remember correctly,
Lucas?
What? Yes,
George
Lucas. Because if I remember correctly from all the EU stuff now, the Legend stuff, the Spice Mine of Kessel is near a black hole.
Okay.
And I believe the Kessel Run skirts the black hole.
I think you're right.
Right? So at that point, it's not
Which makes it
necessarily...
so dangerous.
Right. It's not necessarily about being fast. It's about being able to have the shortest route around the black hole.
Indeed.
So if you can make it around the black hole in the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs...
You're the man.
You did it in a very short distance. Not 14 parsecs, by the way.
Well, here's the deal. I really want there to be a black hole at some point in the Star Wars universe. I think that'd be sick.
This can be a very, very well shot scene.
Yeah, it could be. It'd be really epically.
Exactly.
Epic.
And it'll
scope.
finally put that argument to rest, I think.
Yeah. Which would be kind of nice, actually.
Exactly.
Then those Star Wars geeks, right?
I know, right?
Can kind of let it go.
Jeez, seriously.
As if we haven't argued about this forever.
I know, right?
All right, so let's one more thing about the Star Wars Han Solo movie. There's a rumor out there that Darth Vader could appear in the Han Solo spinoff.
Shocker.
Right? And I don't know if we've talked about this before, but it'd be kind of it makes sense because again, I think we did talk about this a few weeks ago. It kind of would make sense if he showed up in Empire. It's not.
No, you can tell that he and Han Solo have a past.
Right. And I know in the comics and stuff they've been doing that. But it would be really interesting to kind of see the first time they meet and how that goes, because obviously they both survive it.
Right.
But
I mean, and we've got to have Jabba in there somewhere
Yeah.
because it's whatever. I just dawned on me, you know who I would love Paul Bettany to have played?
who?
Bib Fortuna.
Oh, well, that'd be interesting. Except his clothes were very nice in that picture.
Oh, that's a
He
good
didn't
point.
look like a Twi'lek,
Yes,
but he looked more like he was playing a human. But
I
Bib
was
Fortuna.
thinking about that as the outfit. So
Yeah, I hear you. Anything else
no, I'm
on Han Solo?
No, let's. We have a little bit of episode 9 news.
Barely. Reportedly, they've started auditioning.
Yeah, and this is. I mean, of course, the main character is already cast. They're auditioning for Slave Twi'lek number 3 or whatever.
Zen says he thought the bonus cameo would be Boba Fett.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit too much fan service.
Maybe.
I think the smart thing for them to do with that would be to do what they did with Hera in Rogue One and just have the outline of Slave 1 somewhere there.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I like that. Sort of in the background, but not part of the main plot.
Yeah, or have, not necessarily show them, but if they're in a cantina somewhere, have a conversation that you overhear mention he had just walked out or something.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't really necessarily need to see him on camera.
Especially
Especially if they're going to be doing a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah, if they're gonna do but don't you think if they're gonna do a Boba Fett movie, they might try to spin off from the Han Solo movie. So
I guess
I don't really want to see that either. I'd rather it be kind of off to the side, something happening kind of in the background, like he's being chased, but we don't know who. Maybe, and then we deal with
something
that
like
later.
that, or what if? Because we already know we're seeing Lando because Donald Glover. What if, when you first see Donald Glover and Han Solo get together in the movie, Lando had just escaped from Boba Fett, or something.
Yeah, or Lando, Boba Fett works for Lando, or there's some some kind of conversation between Lando and Boba Fett where Han Solo knows of Boba Fett, but it's not we have to see some confrontation between Boba Fett and Han Solo. I think you're right. I think that's a little more fan service than we need. So.
Exactly.
Anyway, man. Merchandise, real quick. We have some pictures and we have some links in the show notes. Hot Toys has released their BB-8 and BB-9E figures, and they're available now, which are pretty sweet. Have you seen these?
I have not, but they're cool characters. So
you're a cool character.
I hate you.
Well, since we have people in the chat room, I thought I'd at least capture this for them. Just for fun.
Well, I need to go blow my nose. I'll be back.
Yeah, do that. Those are pretty sweet, though. I gotta say.
Yes.
There's a little mouse droid next to him too, which is pretty cool. So while Will is gone, let's all talk hella smack. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna continue. So the next thing I've got in here is the Black Series. This is pretty cool. I'm gonna mute these tabs because there's hella ads trying to play in here. 1 second. So the Black Series. What is it? The 40th anniversary Wave 2 set is back for a limited time. So these look so cool. So we've got the C-3PO, Chewbacca, Stormtrooper, Sand People, Death Squad Commander, and a Jawa. Will's just joining me back. These are the 40th anniversary Wave 2 Black Series are coming back.
Awesome.
For a limited time, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
You're not that excited, but that's cool.
Well, I don't have money to collect these things.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. All right, man. So let's see what else we got here. That's merchandise. Where are we at?
Parks News.
Parks News. There's some cool stuff here, man. Doctor Strange. There's gonna be a stage show coming to Disney Cruise at Marvel Day at Sea.
Yeah,
which is pretty neat.
about this.
You don't like it?
I don't see because almost everything Disney does on stage is musical. I don't see Doctor Strange as a musical.
No, I don't think it's gonna be. I'm with you guys. I want all those things. Oh, what's up? But honestly, I don't think they're gonna make it musical. Like, for example, I think of it more of like Jedi Academy. There's no music there.
Okay, I got you.
Where it's like a stage show where he comes out, maybe does magic for the kids and stuff like
Okay,
that.
that I can see.
You know, I don't automatically think it's going to be a musical. And I think it'd be kind of neat to have Doctor Strange up there and bring the kids up.
Oh, absolutely.
Give them a cape.
Yes.
You know, teach them magic. Give them
That'd
a
be
sling
cool.
ring. I think that'd be cool, man. You're knocking this a little too early. A little too cynical.
Oh, God, I hate you so much.
Anyway, California Adventure is going to be hosting the Thor Ragnarok sneak preview.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been doing this for, years now.
We saw it actually when we were there last. We saw there was a whole Marvel, like a bunch of clips of different Marvel properties, like in one 12-minute reel. We actually walked into California Adventure and saw this whole thing.
Yeah, it's over in the building that used to be the
Muppet.
no, next door to the Muppets.
Oh, where they had the Frozen thing.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, before that, it used to be where they had the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
Yes.
that
Exactly.
I got up on stage for.
Yeah. No, I remember.
But they've also done the Tron thing there. They've done like all the things.
Totally.
There. Oh, we saw the last time I was there. I saw the Pirates of the Caribbean 3D.
Oh, really?
thing there,
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah, so stuff like that. So they're constantly doing this, and it's a good use of that building.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Plus, Ragnarok, doesn't that look just like an absolute blast?
Oh, absolutely.
That's going to be so much fun, dude.
That looks so much fun.
All right, so Final Fantasy, has nothing to do with Disney, but Final Fantasy is going to get an attraction at Universal Studios Japan,
Okay.
which makes a lot of
It
sense.
makes total sense.
But how freaking cool would that be? I as a Final Fantasy fan, I could think of 15 different cool things they could do with that. And chocobo rides and comically large swords and various other things. But it'd be fun as hell. I think that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to Japan though. Sadly.
Not anytime soon.
Well, I thought you were buying me a ticket.
No.
Well, I never changed this to Star Wars, so now it's Star Wars. And now it's not. All right, let's move to our last section, dude. We're going to be talking about pop culture news. We don't have a whole lot, but I have some stuff I want to talk about this week. So here we go.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes. You're legends.
I missed that show.
Well, it's coming back in next week?
Is that stuff coming back that soon?
Yeah, first week of October.
Kick ass. I'm excited. All right.
All right, so unfortunately, we lost a couple people this week.
Yeah.
The first one we lost was Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
The
was a bummer.
guy was in everything.
Yeah.
He was 91, and I was reading up on this guy because I you've seen him in a ton of stuff. I mean, what I remember him from, he played Molly Ringwald's dad in Pretty Pink, but I know him as Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen's dad in the original Red Dawn.
Well, and I was listening to
Avenge me!
I was listening to Hollywood Babylon. They were saying he was like an actor for like 50 or 60 years.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Like-
two things that blew me away. He was a World War II vet.
Right. So since then, he's basically been acting.
Yes. Second, he was Jack Nicholson's best man in the 60s.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
That is cool.
Now that's a badass life. I mean, he like you said, he's been in everything. But at 91, for the body work he's leaving behind, that's kick ass. So.
Yeah, he was a cook in World War II, and when I read that, it reminded me he was also in Down Periscope as the guy at the head of the engine room who poured the whiskey into into the engine to thin out the.
Oh, that's funny.
Really funny. Yeah, and then of course yesterday.
Oh, man. So last night I get one of those push notifications from old CNN, as one does, and it's like, oh, Hugh Hefner dies at 91. So we lost Hugh Hefner, man. This is one of those guys where love him or hate him. I mean, he had an impact on pop culture and the world.
He had a huge impact on pop culture, and whether the way he went about it or not, he was definitely impacted the feminist and women's lib movement.
Yep.
Either by empowering or spurring the opposition or whatnot. But like we mentioned when Dick Gregory died a few weeks ago,
right?
The first big time that an African American comedian got on stage in a major club was when Dick Gregory got on in the Chicago Playboy Club.
Exactly.
The first issue of Playboy magazine had Marilyn Monroe. it launched the careers of Jenny McCarthy and Pamela Anderson, and such an impact on.
Yeah, in chat, the old perv. Yeah, and the old perv spurred a lot of what we follow in pop culture, which is really interesting. So, yeah, man, I just skiing. That's good. Yeah, we all used to read the articles when we were younger. We love that. And then towards the end, obviously, they switched to trying to have no nudity.
And then they switched back a couple months ago.
And then they switched back, and so it's just one of those things, man. But most people know who Hefner is.
The funny thing is like what I remember from when I was a teenager is, I mean, now there's like the whole thing with the leaked celebrity selfies and all things. There's always been a fascination of seeing famous people naked, right? And I remember almost every issue, you had 3 major pictorials.
Right.
You had the centerfold, the Playmate of the Month. You had the other model or whatever.
Right.
But then you had a celebrity who did a tasteful spread or something like that.
Right.
And you had Vanna White. You had, all these different...
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All these things. And that was kind of the cool thing. It's like, hey, this is somebody I see on my TV that I can see naked.
Right. Well, what's funny about Playboy, though, it was like nothing compared to what else you could find out there.
Hustler.
And sometimes every once in a while you read the articles, but it is what it is. Again, love him or hate him, Hugh Hefner is now passed. And when I saw this notification pop up, I was telling you earlier, I was like, and like my wife's like, oh my God, what happened? And I was like, Hugh Hefner. And she's like, really? And basically like what Two Littles in the chat said, that old perv, that's what she said. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, he was, but like, it still kind of affected me. But what it made me think about is his age he's 91 years old.
Right.
And as I was telling you in the car while we were headed to dinner, I said, at some point, and I was actually telling my students this earlier today too, at some point we're going to lose Stan Lee.
Yes.
And, he's almost 95 years old. But again, it's the impact and the legacy they leave behind that's important.
Yeah, and honestly, with somebody like Hefner, it's not necessarily him per se. It's that he personifies a specific time and lifestyle.
Yeah.
The jet setter lifestyle of the 60s was so iconic.
Exactly.
I mean, you saw it in, they went to the Playboy Club in Mad Men.
Right.
There was a TV show that, granted, lasted for only a few episodes, but it had Eddie Cibrian and Amber Heard in it about the Playboy Club in Chicago, which I thought was actually a very well done show that wasn't given a chance. There was even that show Pan Am about that whole lifestyle. You have
but it's that fun
Catch Me If You Can with Tom Hanks.
Exactly.
My mom actually references that one of her favorite books from when she was younger from the 60s, because this is the time when people put on suit coats to go on a plane.
Yeah, totally.
Dressed up to go onto a plane because that's what was expected. But it was awesome because she said that there's this book that she read that was supposedly written by a stewardess. It was called Coffee, Tea, or Me.
Oh, okay.
And it was about that whole highfalutin jets, and I'm like, it just cracks me up. But that's what he personifies.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that he was a magazine mogul, which he was, but it's what he personified.
Right. Yeah, man. So again, old perv or not, it's
also, what did Ralph Garman do? They're going to be talking about it on Hollywood Babylon, because you got to remember Ralph Garman co-hosted Playboy After Dark.
Oh, right. Oh, that'll be this week. That'll be good. So what do we got? What else do we
have? So Bill Clinton wrote a book. He's written a couple of biographies, and he's written a couple of political treatise type books. But he actually teamed up with James Patterson. He of Kiss the Girls.
Oh yeah, Patterson.
Along Came a Spider. All those. They teamed up and wrote a book called The President is Missing. It's a novel, and it was a bestseller.
Interesting.
It got picked up by Showtime. It's going to be turned into a limited series.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Very cool. I'm excited about it.
Nice.
Also, the newest Godzilla movie is called Godzilla King of the Monsters, and we got the most recent Godzilla movie back in 2014, and then they just did Kong Skull Island last summer.
Right.
And that's part of the whole new MonsterVerse, right? And so the next one is Godzilla King of the Monsters, and it's supposed to come out in, I want to say March of 2018, but they just finished principal photography this week.
Very cool, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
I like this story this week too. Look, it's one of those things where when you're actually like interviewing Quentin Tarantino, and he says something kind of offhandedly. Of course, the websites like to run with it. They apparently he's down with, literally down with directing a Star Trek movie. And the reason I put this in here, and this is again one of those sort of like, oh, he said this offhandedly. So he's talking to TMZ. Which is wonderful, of course.
Of course.
And Tarantino was asked about the possibility of him helming a Star Trek film at some point in his career. While he didn't say yes, obviously, Tarantino did give about as positive an answer as he's known to give. He said, it'd be worth taking a meeting about. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because, one, I don't know how to interpret that line. And two, what the hell would a Tarantino Star Trek movie look like?
Okay, well, you also got to remember, Tarantino didn't always direct his blood and gore movies.
True.
Right? I mean, he has, but you got to remember there was the movie Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. There's a whole scene where they're talking about Silver Surfer, not Gene Hackman. It was Denzel Washington and another character.
Yeah.
That bit was actually written by Tarantino.
Really?
He wrote that part of the script. And this has always been going on. If you remember Blazing Saddles, written and directed by Mel Brooks, there's a scene that was written by Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
So
well, the thing about those guys is they're just so good with dialogue.
Exactly.
You know, and you want to get some actual real sounding dialogue between two characters. Like, I mean, one of my favorite, I think my favorite Tarantino film is probably Pulp Fiction, but it's the dialogue. It's this banter between these characters. Like, I could listen to that all day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm actually going to talk about Pulp Fiction a little bit later.
Ooh.
Circuitously.
Nifty. Okay.
Yeah, I think a Tarantino Star Trek movie would be very cool. I'd watch it.
Yeah, me too. There'll probably be some. I'd like to see what type of starship we're talking about, and like what crew. You know what I mean? Like, would it be a new crew? Is it the old crew?
I would almost love that if it wasn't an Enterprise. If it was,
that's what I'm saying.
Like a little junker site, like very much like Orville,
right,
which we'll get to in a minute.
I was about to segue, but
no, actually, because we need to fit in the Jumanji trailer.
Wait, what?
The Jumanji trailer?
Oh, we're doing that now.
Well,
we had a nice clean segue into Orville.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna watch the Jumanji trailer real quick.
Well, unless you want to talk about Orville first, then we could do the Jumanji trailer.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to.
Well, do it then.
Okay, so anyway, nice segue, Will. Thanks. So what I've taken over. All right, so really, what's
It'll
interesting?
sound better in post.
I would actually, yeah. Well, it'll be smooth in the post. But what's interesting is the Orville is the Seth MacFarlane
Space
Star
comedy.
Trek, basically.
Yes,
and it's brilliant.
it is really funny.
It is absolutely.
Have you watched the third one yet?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because there's such great social commentary on it.
It does,
which is exactly what Star Trek did.
And that's what Star Trek did. But what's interesting is when it comes to the humor, it's a Seth MacFarlane piece. Like, they're making the little, sex jokes and they're doing their things, but it doesn't take itself super seriously.
No.
But it's I feel story-wise on par with Star Trek. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's the social commentary, it's the relationships with the characters. You're invested, and at the same time, they're making it's funny.
Well, it is. Plus, it's like it's an homage to Star Trek at the same time because Brent Spiner's in it.
Oh yeah, and I love that he's
as a robot species. It's got Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald plays that blob.
Plays a blob. It's got Penny Johnson Harold in it as the Doctor. She's great.
Yeah. No, the show is really, really, really well done. I'm really happy with it. As soon as we started watching it, the wife and I, this was, a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, when it first came on, it was on Hulu, and we're like, oh, let's watch something funny. And I was like, oh, well, let's check this out, because it's Seth MacFarlane. We're like, and like within 10 minutes, we both looked at each other like, this is freaking good.
Yeah.
We really like this.
The whole show opens with him walking on his wife having an affair with an alien, and blue stuff
blue
shooting
ink
out of his
flies
face.
Everywhere, whatever.
But the funny thing is later on in the episode, he says, "You know how hard it is to get blue out of a white lampshade?" And I'm like, "That is such a great callback."
But and they keep coming back to it, like their marriage and all this stuff. Like there's these little they're in the middle of a crisis, and he's like, "Well, look."
And they
here's the
start
thing.
having marriage counseling.
Yeah, what would you do if you know?
Exactly.
And they're like, "Wait, what are we talking about?" You know? Oh, the alien was Rob Lowe. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, that's awesome. I did
love
not
it.
know that. Thank you, LAND2. That's
LAD, what's up?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched The Orville yet, check it out. It's pretty darn funny. I really like it.
On that note, the premiere opened to 8.6 million viewers,
Which is a lot.
and it is Fox's biggest
now,
premiere in years. Biggest premiere in years for Fox. So
Good for them.
I don't know if that is driven. I mean, it's probably driven obviously by Seth MacFarlane, but at the same time, I think people are ready for another kind of not taking yourself too seriously kind of sci-fi deal.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
which I'm excited about.
I mean, because really, we haven't had one on TV since Firefly.
Exactly. So, anyway, man, should we?
All right, yeah, now let's do
You
the
want to watch
Jumanji.
the trailer?
Let's watch Jumanji.
Since I cut them out. All right, so we're like I said, we're splicing in a couple trailers here this week. Let me give us a second to get this going. One of my favorite. I don't know how it's playing already. As far as the Orville goes, I think there's been what 3 episodes.
Yeah, 3 episodes.
The one where they're trapped in the zoo.
And the zoo is hilarious.
That's so good, dude.
One cannibal Oedipus, please. Cannabis edible, please.
I just love
Okay,
that. Like,
what-
if you could walk up to a replicator and be like, I'll have 12 joints.
Yes. And I'm sorry, there's a big difference between a cannabis edible and a cannibal Oedipus.
I like Cannibal Oedipus, actually. And maybe that's the name of the show.
Okay, is that a cannibal that only eats his mother?
Look, don't overanalyze it. All right?
All right, so let's watch this trailer.
Don't worry, I'm going to get rid of the Punisher.
This is the new Jumanji trailer. Okay, which, by the way, you've had that up all episode, and I think I know why you like it.
Why?
Because with the Punisher skull over his face, it looks very much like Maximus from Gladiator.
It kind of does.
Doesn't it?
Kind of does. You got it, buddy.
All right, so this is the newest trailer for Jumanji, which I think looks hilarious.
Yeah, so usually, and this is a little bit of a side note for us. This is how we used to do trailers. We would get to a point in the show where we talk about a trailer and then we would watch it. We've kind of felt like it kind of slowed the show down a little bit. So as a Patreon, people who give us money every episode, for patrons, we used to do that in the beginning of the show. We're going to get back to that, but we only had a few this week, so we decided to kind of spice it through.
We did forget to play the Forces of Destiny one in Star Wars.
Here's the deal. We did, and we're letting it go.
Yeah, we'll play it next week.
So Jumanji. Oh, I muted that tab. Hold, please. There we go.
I found something. You gotta check this out.
Who plays board games anymore?
Yo, what's this?
Jumanji. Pick a character and you're that person in the game.
Bethany, you in?
I don't spend my life staring at a TV screen. Fine.
Oh my god!
Where's my hair?
Where's the rest of me?
Oh my god, we're in different people's bodies!
Bethany, don't look at it!
No!
I'm an overweight middle-aged man. Wait a second. Where's my phone?
Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I think we've become the avatars we chose.
Welcome to Jumanji!
This is a video game, which means we each have 3 lives.
Come on, let's go! I'm Alex. Watch your step in here.
So gnarly. We can help each other.
We all have special skills.
Weakness, none.
I hate this game. Everybody else got good stuff.
Weakness? Cake.
Yes, cake is my weakness.
You're a good weapons valet.
What is that?
I think it means you carry my weapon to give them to me when I tell you to.
Don't let this new body get your butt whooped.
What the hell?
We have to work together.
I think it's a staring contest.
Who's good at staring and not blinking?
I'm amazing at it. I like camp even with this place. We gotta go. Get on my back.
Hell no!
I'll carry you. Come on.
I would rather die.
Get on my back.
Nope, I'm gonna die. Put me down! Weakness? Pound cake.
Cake? Isn't that your weakness?
Something happening to me? Am I shaking? Am I still black?
Yes.
Okay, we're fine. Everything is fine. It's all good.
Okay, so I'll tell you what's really funny, and yes, Zen, I'm with you. It looks surprisingly good. The thing that's funny is today I've spent time introducing the novel I'm about to teach, which is Ready Player One.
Yes.
Which has to do with virtual worlds, etc., and avatars. I think I'm excited about that movie because it's like they took it from the board game part to like, here is you have to survive a video game.
Yeah, well, what I love is actually they didn't put this in the first trailer, but the board game basically morphed into a video game because it said the game always finds a way.
Exactly, which is, I just love it. Steve liked it too. That trailer is really well put together.
That was a better trailer than the first one.
And yeah, and I wasn't all the way sold on the first one, but obviously I love me some Rock, and I love Kevin Hart, and
they were great together.
What's her face's name?
Karen Gillan.
Redhead. Yeah. First of all,
she plays Nebula in Guardians,
and one of my favorite
Amy
companions
Bond,
of the Doctor Who universe. So
yes.
I am.
Well, plus Jack Black.
Well, not the biggest Jack Black fan, but I'm in. He's
all right.
Have I lost you as a friend?
No.
No, good, because I didn't care either way. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, tell me about this next one. This is exciting.
Where are we at? Hold, please. Okay, so here's the deal. I just literally saw this today.
Literally.
Okay, one of my favorite movies when I was younger.
Everybody's favorite movie when we were
I
younger.
guess everybody sees it now because apparently I haven't switched over to the thing yet. One of my favorite movies was Coming to America, and I've seen it enough times to know how it's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah.
But apparently Coming to America is coming back to theaters for a sequel.
Awesome.
And obviously we have all these reboots and all this stuff going on. What I would like to know is, let's see, sequel lined up. Jonathan Levine, Warren Bodies is going to direct it, with Blackish creator Ken Abaris handling the script.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Which is good. And even though Murphy hasn't officially signed on for the project, THR reports the actor will reprise his role as Prince Akeem.
Whatever you like.
And I'm really hoping James Earl Jones is coming back as well, because if he doesn't, by the gods.
Okay, one thing I love Coming to America.
Yeah,
I think it unfortunately overshadowed another great Eddie Murphy movie from the similar time, Harlem Nights.
Oh yeah,
so underrated.
Yeah,
so good. But one of my favorite little pop culture tidbits is we all know that James Earl Jones plays the King of Zamunda,
right?
But he also played King Mufasa in The Lion King,
right?
The woman who plays the Queen, his wife Zamunda, was the woman who did the voice of Sarabi.
Was it really? Okay, that's awesome.
They purposely cast her because she had been in.
I hope they all come back.
Absolutely.
And it's just a magical time where we can romp through the world of people from Africa in a situation they're not supposed to be in.
Exactly. And this is, I really hope this is one of those things where it wasn't whitewashing, but Eddie Murphy played an old Jewish man at the same time.
Indeed. Which was hilarious. So the question is, at the end of this article, which I think is important, where will Coming to America 2 pick up? Did Akeem and Lisa get married and live happily ever after? Did McDonald's finally put McDowell's out of business? I forgot about that story.
I know. Or did they in John Amos was McDowell?
So I don't know. What do you think, man?
I'm there. Opening night.
Yeah, I'm in no matter what because I love every single actor in this movie, and I just love this movie.
Arsenio Hall was awesome.
Arsenio Hall. I grew up watching his late night show.
Okay, I will. A little side note here. My dad, who unfortunately passed away the year we met.
Yeah.
within months of us meeting. I used to watch that when I was in high school all the time. I taught him the dog pound.
Did you?
The ooh, ooh, ooh. And for him, it always came out like a seal. It was always, it was, oh God, it just reminds me of my dad. I love it.
That's great.
But I loved Arsenio Hall in Harlem Nights as well.
Yeah. So I'm in on that for sure.
Absolutely.
That's one of those reboots I'm like, you know what? That's going to be fun. I don't care how they approach it. It's going to be fun.
Exactly.
Casting news.
Yeah, we got a little bit of casting news. Some big news. There's a confirmation that James Cameron is going to be coming back and doing a Terminator film.
Oh.
I don't think he's directing it, but he's going to be producing and writing it.
Okay.
But guess who they're bringing back? Linda Hamilton.
Oh, that's great.
And the cool thing is it's like it's going to be a direct sequel to T2. Right?
Okay.
So they're like not necessarily going to pretend that Genesis and 3 didn't happen, but in the time frame.
But it makes sense to have a sequel to T2.
Yes.
Like a direct
exactly.
sequel. Yeah.
They're doing another girl movie. So they did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay.
So they're doing a new one based on a book not written by the original author because he's dead, but they started, like they do with James Bond books and Jason Bourne books.
Yeah.
Someone else has picked up the mantle. And the guy wrote a book called Girl in the Spider's Web.
Cool.
And so they're doing another Elizabeth Salander movie. And Claire Foy from The Crown is taking over the role.
Nice.
From Rooney Mara.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
The Uncharted movie.
Oh.
Drake's Fortune, which has been up and down, up and down. It looks
based on the video game.
Based on the video game.
Yep.
It looks like it's happening now,
Good,
slowly
finally.
but surely. We knew for a while now that Tom Holland had been signed, Spider-Man had been signed on to do to play Drake, but it looks like they're bringing in Bryan Cranston to be.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
That's awesome. I hope they finally figure that out, man. A lot of those video game movies either don't get made or something happens or the budget's not there, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that happens.
Okay, I'm sorry. Got to go back to Coming to America because Zen points out a great line where he goes, his mom called him Cassius Clay. I'm going to call Cassius Clay.
Oh, man, I want to rewatch that. I really want to watch that movie again now.
I know, right?
So Berlanti news. Thanks for that, Zen. Berlanti news. We have a crossover, Christ on Earth X.
Yeah, they do their big crossover every season. And last year was Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Invasion.
Yeah. Before that, it was Flashpoint.
Well, Flashpoint was the storyline of Flash, and
Right.
it was all involved. But Invasion was the actual crossover event. This one is going to be Crisis on Earth X, where it looks like they're going to have to battle evil versions of themselves.
Oh, I love it.
So that'll be cool.
That's classic comic, right?
Right.
You,
absolutely.
You gotta battle your evil twin.
Oh, absolutely.
It's important.
Disney
news.
Yeah, we have
Disney
a
news.
little bit of Disney news. First, Hocus Pocus, which there had actually been news earlier this week that they were going to be doing a sequel.
And now this was with
Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, Bette Midler was the name I was trying to think of.
It was news that they were going to be doing a sequel. It's actually not going to be a sequel. It's going to be a remake.
Oh, interesting. They're just redoing it.
Exactly.
Okay. Classic Disney.
Now, they do movies based on rides all the time. They did a Haunted Mansion movie. They did a
Pirates of the Caribbean. Obviously.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Obviously, they've been in the works wanting to do. Well, actually, Jon Favreau is working on a Jungle Book movie.
Right.
I know they were trying to do a Big Thunder movie, stuff like that. But they
really did Jungle Book already.
Jungle Cruise.
Oh, you said Jungle Book.
I said Jungle Book.
Yeah.
I meant Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. That's supposed to have The Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will have The Rock.
Which I'm excited about.
But they were really trying to do a Space Mountain movie.
Yeah.
And they had gotten Max Landis to write it.
Okay.
Which would have been great. Well, Max Landis came out and said what his idea for it was. And he was taking it in the 90s. They did a remodel of Space Mountain, and they brought in new music and all that stuff. And it was, and the people who did the remodel said it's basically imagine 50s sci-fi crossed with surf guitar.
That sounds amazing.
And that's what it was. And so they brought in Dick Dale, who is the godfather of surf guitar, to do the music that's in the ride. So which is great. But his link to Pulp Fiction was he's the guy who played Miseraloo, who from the opening scene of Pulp Fiction. The
Oh, I was like, how are we connecting this? Okay.
So
I'm with it.
Dick Dale was Dick Dale in the Deltones.
Nice, dude.
Right.
Okay.
So, but that's really cool. But that's what Max Landis had patterned it on. And so he also released some concept art this week. And it's really cool. It looks like Jetson cars, but looking like 50s muscle cars.
Oh, that's great.
So very, very cool. So
Nice,
I'm like,
dude.
that script is still out there. It's just shelved. It hasn't been dismissed.
Okay.
It's on Disney's shelf somewhere if they ever want to do it.
Nice.
I kind of hope they do because I think that would be fantastic.
I hope so too, man. It's one of my favorite rides, obviously, but I also like when they retheme it and sometimes put the lights on and stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
I think
like
that's cool.
they did the rock thing with when they did Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Right.
Very recently, 2015, they did Hyperspace Mountain where they put in Jakku.
Hyperspace Mountain was great. I mean, you actually feel like you're flying through a space battle.
I actually didn't get to go on Hyperspace Mountain.
Oh, it was amazing. It was really cool.
You had this last Disney one.
Is there more Disney? I was getting Punisher ready.
Yeah, the Disney releasing 6 classic princess movies.
Oh, shoot. I almost forgot. So Disney news, really good Disney news, which is interesting. Actually, some of it's already passed, but what's kind of cool is coming back to theaters, I guess, is 6 Disney princess movies. And this is, so what they're doing is, it's called the Dream Big Princess Marathon. It's an event that's running now through mid-October. The marathon consists of 6 classic Disney princess movies, which will each be shown in theaters for a week, 14 times each, with showings offered at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood, as well as 304 other AMC movie theaters nationwide. So,
which we don't have near us.
Well, we're not going to have it, but that's not the point. So, one is Beauty and the Beast. That's September 15th. That's already passed. Mulan, September 22nd. Also already passed. Tangled, September 22nd. Moana, September 29th, which is tomorrow. Brave is October 13th. I actually really like Brave. Yep. And I think my favorite on the list is Princess and the Frog, which is October 6th. That is my favorite. I love Prince of the Frog.
It's a really good movie, and that makes sense for it being in October.
Exactly. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Absolutely, yeah. That would be cool. That's one of the things I miss about living in big cities.
You gonna be all right?
Not really. All right, so moving on to The Punisher.
All right, guys. So this will be our last little trailer thing that we're gonna put up here tonight. This is gonna be a badass. Once I get my stuff together. Here we go. Nope. Why do I have no sound? There we go.
It's plenty of time now that you're home.
Shoot on sight.
My pleasure. What do you know about my family?
I don't know anything.
Fair enough. They killed my family to get to me. I was part of a covert CIA operation. The man in charge wants me dead. Homeland. The FBI. Everybody's part of this.
You and me, we want the same thing. So work with me.
On one condition. I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah, I can live with that.
You gotta see your family.
Punisher, he's dead.
This look like the work of a dead man to you.
I love lines like that where it's like in absolute darkness and chaos, someone's like, bro, come on.
Right. Okay.
I love
First
everything
of all,
about that trailer.
John Barenthal is fantastic.
Yes.
Second, that trailer has some of the best editing that I've seen in years. I want everyone to watch it on your own time, but go back and watch it, but don't, when you're watching it, listen to it.
Yeah.
Because,
the syncing up with the gunshots and the music too.
But not only that,
Yeah.
it was footsteps, drops of water and blood. Even the dialogue was patterned into the beat.
Yeah.
So
That
seamless.
trailer was sick.
So fantastic.
Yeah. No, there was...
And, of course, bringing in Metallica.
Well, the Metallica... I haven't heard that song in so long. But, you know, one of my favorite shots was when he's going through, there's smoke coming through, and the music's playing, and he's like, he's shooting, then he goes back, then he comes back to the other guy, and it's just so sick, dude.
It is.
I love the Punisher.
Yeah, he's great.
I love me an anti-hero, but I loved him in Daredevil. You know, regardless of what you think of his role in Daredevil, I love it, and I'm very excited for this.
Okay, this is...
We have like a month till this, right? It's coming out in a few weeks, actually.
Actually, I think it's beginning of November.
Is it November?
Middle of
Okay.
November. It's like
All right.
5 weeks, 6 weeks. Little off topic, but
You wanna go
Marvel. Yeah, you do. Marvel Comics just relaunched a new series called Legacy.
Yeah.
Right. And one thing that they kind of redid, it takes you back to origin story, not necessarily origin stories, but early stories of characters.
Yeah.
They took Deadpool back to being evil.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So yeah, you're gonna like it.
Good. Evil's okay. So as far as a follow-up to that, the synopsis, I mean, you can get it from the trailer, but... Excuse me. Whoa.
Yeah, government people killed his family. He wants revenge.
I'm going to read it anyway.
Okay.
So after exacting revenge on those responsible for the death of his wife and children, Frank Castle, John Barenthal, uncovers a conspiracy that runs far deeper than New York's criminal underworld. Now known throughout the city as the Punisher, he must discover the truth about injustices that affect more than his family alone. Boom.
Word.
There it is. I could not be more excited for that. Honestly.
Try to be.
I can't. I cannot do it. I'm incapable. Speaking of things, Netflix-wise and Marvel-wise, The Defenders, sadly, it is the least viewed of Marvel's Netflix series.
Okay, I have a bone to pick with.
Do you have a theory?
I do. Well, not necessarily a theory. I just have a question.
Okay.
Every other Netflix series has had 13 episodes. Defenders only has 8. Do they take that into account of viewing numbers?
Good point. But also, what I'd like to throw out there is a lot of people probably didn't watch it because maybe they missed Jessica Jones, or they missed Iron Fist, or they missed, you know what I mean? Like maybe they want to catch up. Like you haven't watched Defenders yet.
Exactly. I haven't watched Defenders yet because I'm halfway through Luke Cage and I haven't watched Iron Fist yet.
So let's see. The show also takes the top spot and biggest drop off in viewers of all the shows. Over the course of 30 days, Defenders dropped by 67%, 48%, and then 41% week by week. You know, I think there's a lot more going on than just viewership, personally.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we just said, those people that had watched, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons of other stuff before we got to this, they're the ones that watched it in the first week. And there's fewer people that have not. So you're going to have a steep drop off. And that, whereas like you're not going to have a steep drop off on the other ones because it's their first seasons and you don't have anything to catch up on.
Yeah, look, and I'm with a couple people in the chat. I mean, I liked Defenders just fine. I saw all of the other episodes of every other show though.
Right.
My wife hadn't seen Jessica Jones and all of Daredevil, so she was missing some stuff there. And honestly, it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not the best show. It's almost like they all just kind of haphazardly end up together, and then they do some stuff, and then it's over in 8 episodes. You get to see Elektra, you get to see all these elements, There was a heavy supernatural element to it too. So I don't know. There's a lot going on here that I think.
I just found it weird that it was trying to encompass so much,
right.
and they cut it so short.
Well, and by the time they kind of hit their stride, you would have lost some people because the first couple episodes, I think, were a little too slow for an 8-episode arc.
Well, because you have to introduce things to people that hadn't watched the other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Skeen. It needed, I'd say, at least 13 episodes. Bring in those other storylines. Really bring in some of those side characters, and make us remember. And granted, if you had seen Daredevil, you would know. And they do some flashbacky stuff, but you know, Elektra plays a huge role in Defenders.
Right, but if you don't know how she was in Daredevil 2, then.
But if you never watched Daredevil, or you don't understand, or if you didn't get to the second season, there's no point. You would not know the impact of that character.
Also, I did see that, what's her name?
Claire Temple? Rosario Dawson?
No, the girl who
Colleen
used to play the secretary for Foggy and Nelson.
Oh, the blonde.
Karen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Whatever. She supposedly has a big role in Punisher.
Which I'm excited about because
I love her character.
Their characters, they had a big role together in Daredevil.
Yes.
And I'm hoping, I think Punisher is going to be better than Defenders, sadly. But I liked elements of Defenders.
Focus on the story.
I really liked elements of Defenders. I think if they had brought Defenders out after the second seasons of this other stuff would have been better. There was still a sour taste in people's mouths over Iron Fist. People weren't super stoked about that. There was only one season of both Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Let's give, I would have liked to see them go to Defenders after every show had 2 seasons. Yeah. And then Daredevil didn't need their 3rd season yet, but why not? You know what I mean? Right. Let everybody run their course and then go to Defenders. I don't know. That's just my opinion. So, what else we got? Last thing.
Yeah, we have one thing from Sony. Their Venomverse is still in the works, and as far as we know, their first movie is going to be Venom, and it's going to star Tom Hardy as Venom, but I can't remember the character, Brock. Eddie Brock.
Eddie Brock, yeah.
But they're in talks to have Michelle Williams play the female lead.
Ah, that'd be good. I think that would work.
And honestly, this is they're finally taking a page out of the Marvel playbook of getting an Oscar-worthy actress to play the female lead.
Yeah, do that.
A la Gwyneth Paltrow, a la Natalie Portman.
Yeah, do that, and it'll be okay.
Yes.
Right? All right, man.
I think that's it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I think you should shut the hell up.
So, thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And, of course, we're on all the things: Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Find us on Twitter. At Darth Pops is my Twitter handle, and Will is at IamRogueRiggs. And we're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and maybe Google Play. We're not sure. But definitely find us on any podcatcher where you get your podcasts. Yeah, man. So there's a couple ways to support the show. audibletrial.com/usualpodcast. Thanks, Zen. You can get a free audiobook on us. What just came out? A couple Star Wars novels.
Yeah, pick up Leia, Princess of Alderaan, or Star Wars at a certain point of view.
Certain point of view would be great. And also another way to support the show, as some of our patrons are in the chat. Thanks for being there. Thanks for supporting us. Give us $1 or $2 an episode, and we will give you stuff. We do trailer time. We do blooper reels, early access to shows, that kind of thing. And we'll eventually send you socks and or maybe beer.
And look at it this way. The more that you contribute to Patreon, the less Marshall has to work on Thursday nights.
Look, here's the thing. If you want us to be more consistent, give us more money. I'm seriously joking. Look, guys, thanks for being here throughout our inconsistencies this month, and we really appreciate it. What? Comic-Con. Oh, New York City Comic-Con. It's happening, and we usually talk about conventions at the end of the show. Let's not forget it really quick. We'll have some news from that for sure. Zen, who's in the chat, is going to be there, so hopefully we can pick his brain when he gets back. We talked at the top of the show about the SWTOR Community Cantina, so yeah, and so we'll talk to Zen again and maybe get him back on the show and let us talk about games and all the things from Comic-Con.
Absolutely.
So, it'd be awesome, dude. So, guys, You guys are awesome. Thanks for being in the chat. Zen, you're awesome. Thanks for supporting the show. Skeen as well. And
everyone, make sure you have a fun.
Have a fun. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Thank you guys, everyone. Thanks for reminding me at the end. I almost forgot.
And you guys were great in the chat room tonight.
Oh, it's been lonely, to be honest. So sorry for the inconsistency, guys. I appreciate you guys showing up tonight. It was a lot of fun. LND, awesome for you to be there, dude. Thank you. Steve, you're awesome. And I said, dude, even though, yeah, that's it. Are we out?
We out.
Well, you turned off your mic, so I guess you're out. Anyway, guys. All right, I'm going to take this thing down. Good night, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you all next week. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. We'll be